Hi, it's Mark here. Thanks for coming along to this video. What I'm going to do is to show you how to work things out. So let's have a wee look. So sometimes what you can do is you can be stuck and bamboozled by things and just overloaded, and it's just too much. So what can be happening is you could be scratching your head. That should read your, by the way. I'll get that fixed for the notes. So you could be scratching your head or worrying. Worrying won't help. Neither will scratching your head either. What you've got to think is that it's problem solving. Consider it like a puzzle. Not getting too confused by it all. Don't panic or think you can't do it. If you know the individual topics and you've actually done your studying, and here you are with a question, you know how to do it, you know how to do it, but it's just too much. So what you need is a bit of rational thinking. Calm down, have a cup of tea, relax, chill, and say to yourself, I do know the individual topics. I do know how to kind of do it, but I need to think about splitting it down. Splitting it down into smaller chunks. So if you're looking at something that's far too big, break it down into smaller, manageable chunks. One step at a time. Take everything at a step. So I'm going to show you and give you an example here as well. Keep in mind, it can be done, because mathematical problems, use problem solving, split it down. It can be. There's processes, there is ways of calculating things out. So if we look at something step by step, you split it into manageable chunks. You start by extracting what information you can from it. One thing you shouldn't do is worry about that final moment. Stop looking for the answer. Stop with a fixation about the answer. It's the processes that count, the calculations. The answer will look after itself. That'll come right at the end. You don't worry about that. That'll come. If you think rationally, split it down. Do each bit at a time. Do the steps. Like I'm going to show you. Concentrate upon each small task rather than thinking about the answer. So here's a question. Quite a big long one here. Let's have a look at it a bit closer. So here we go. Bill and Bob wish to purchase a new machine. It's their growing business. I can sit here and read through all this. You take time, pause if you have to, look through it, but don't be bamboozled by it. And then just press play again, because we're going to combat this. So I'm not going to waste time going through all that. Let's work at it. Let's split it down. So step number 1. Now, what you could have done was you could have made notes. So you can always rewind, go back to that question. So Bill and Bob, they want a new machine. They want a loan for it. This is the information that we can grab from this. So the machine in Ireland, its assets worth that amount in euros. There's also cash funding available from USA, and it's in US dollars. The bank has a formula that they use. Bill has other assets. Bob has cash in an account. They're both in pounds sterling. So what we need to do is to get everything all into the one. That goes with anything that you're doing. So the current exchange rates, they've been provided. You need them. So let's get everything into the one currency. The question wants whole pounds, pound sterling. So let's get it into pound sterling. That's what the question wants. So step 2, we work on the currency into pound sterling. So the machine is worth euros. We've got to convert that into pound sterling. We're given an exchange rate of 1.14 euros to the pound. So remember, This is where, when you're doing anything, it's important that you have the knowledge and you look back on anything that you need to look back on to make sure that you know it. So if you remember, the largest number of the currency must remain the largest. So euros is the bigger number here. Pounds is the smaller one. If you multiply something, it makes a bigger number. We need a smaller number because it's the sterling, which is the smaller number. Therefore, we divide. Division provides the smaller number. So there you go. Now again, I'm not focused too much on the calculations. It's the process. It's the steps. Because we can always go back and look at the calculations. You can pause at any time and you can make notes. The answer from that. So again, a small chunk, we've got the answer, but it's more the calculations that in the process of doing something. So that was step 2. Step 3, we've got US dollars that needs to be put into pounds against. There's the US dollar amount. The exchange rate is £1 is equivalent to $1.42. So the dollars is the larger number. So just like I said before, multiplying makes it bigger, so we want to divide this time. It's a chance of 50-50. If you do it wrong, redo it. Just remember that wee rule that I've told you there. So again, it works it through. So again, I'm not too bothered, and you shouldn't be too bothered about the calculations at this point. It's the steps. It's how we get there. Step 4, understand the formula now. Now that we've got bits and pieces done, we can move forward. So the bank uses a formula. There's the formula there. Looks worse than what it is. When you get numbers and letters together there, it's multiplication. You get BODMAS that comes in here. So you work it through your BODMAS. So it's the multiplication before the addition. We need to know the total of cash because it's C. C equals cash. We need to know the total of assets because A equals assets. So let's have a wee look at the cash and assets. So we've got that converted into pounds. Bob is cash in the bank. So there's the cash coming from the USA, cash from Bob, and you add them both together. They're now both in sterling, so it makes it easier. And that's what you're doing for yourself all the time. Make it easier. So now we need to know the assets. The older machine in Ireland, it was in euros, it's now in sterling. Bill has furniture assets. So the total assets, you add them together. Step 6 is the formula again. So we look at the formula again. We've already done part of it. So C is the cash, A is the assets. So what we've got is 3 3/4. We put that in a decimal. If you remember, fractions, again, look back at your knowledge if you have to. So we end up with 0.75 being 3/4 plus the 3. We do the same for the other side there as well. So the 1.5 times A. Then what we can do is we can start to think about this. So we've been using BODMAS there. So all we do is we calculate them out. Again, you can pause at any time. All I'm doing is I'm saying to you, it's the steps I'm looking for. And just to let you see this, so you can pause at any time and make notes if you want to. Step 7, we now look for the answer. Because as a result of all the steps there, step 6 was the last one we came to, that amount. The question again, it wants it into the nearest whole pound. So therefore, we round it off to the nearest, we declare the answer. Job done. So, we split it down. We use patience. View it as a puzzle. Don't be blinded by all the information. Don't give up before you've started. Use a rational method. Understand the information, list it down. Use a squiggly line between each step. Give each step a name. Label it. Work it through. Mathematics is all about processes and steps. And that is how it's done. This can apply to any question and anything at all. Thanks for watching. Bye just now.